Advisors, don't go broke in a nursing home. That's copyrighted, by the way, and rightfully so, because I think that's a fear. If you had to list some of your biggest fears, it's like getting in a nursing home and not being able to afford to be taken care of. Everyone deserves that, and that's what Elder Advisors is all about. With me now is Denise Ice, who joins us. Thank you, Denise, for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And also Mr. Steve Langdon, who is probably the most popular man in the building, because you know what, that red tape, the legal side of this is tough sometimes, Steve, and that's your forte, right?
It is. I don't ever hear really that attorneys are the most popular people in the building. That's new for me. I like that.
But in this case, I think so, because there are a lot of legalities and hoops to jump through, and you can expedite that process.
Well, just like the folks you had before us, we have the most blessed job in the world. I mean, the idea that we get to come in and, as an attorney, I'm not fighting with folks. I'm helping folks, helping them through their, through their lives and through what may be the most difficult point in their life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Let's talk about something, Denise. There's kind of a, I don't want to say dark, but let's just say something that is kind of covered up, that is not very clear when it comes to senior living. Tell me a little about that.
Okay, well, most people are aware that if you're going into a long-term care situation, that you're covered by Medicare. Most people have the idea that they're covered for about 100 days. When someone is coming from a hospital and going into a long-term care, your options are wide open. You can go to all sorts of different facilities. Any place will take those Medicare days. However, you don't know when those days are going to stop. You could not be progressing with rehabilitation, and out of the blue, you might lose that coverage. And now your family is going to have to try to find a way immediately to pay for this. Medicare's not going to be covering it anymore, and it's out of the blue. You usually don't find out until it's too late. I have a relationship with these facilities, so I find out what's going on with their case most of the time before the family does. So I'm able to give them that heads up. I'm able to let the facility know that they're working with us. They're able to stay where they're at. It has great benefit to them.
Wow. And you know what? I know this is not uncommon. It happens quite often. Steve, how can folks out there who are watching, either maybe they are a senior, perhaps they're a senior loved one, how can you prevent this from happening? What's your side of the equation?
Well, I tell you, my side is right next here with Miss Denise, because she is the linchpin to any plan there. When you're running into that situation, you have your loved one who has moved over from the hospital to the nursing home. It's so important to have that relationship with the facility so that there's that ongoing conversation. These facilities, it's
no surprises, right?
You don't want any surprises.
Right.
I mean, it's a business. And when those Medicare days run out, it's a huge shock to find out that you're now going to be paying $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month for your loved one to be in this facility. So that's why it's so important, and just encourage folks to come out to the workshops, listen in, and get some advanced knowledge before that situation ever arises.
Yeah, in fact, we have some information on a workshop that is coming up. I'm assuming Larry Weiss will be there. Denise,
yes,
you'll be there. And of course, the legal side of this. I appreciate that, Steve. And I think it is important because there's many different aspects of this and things that you need to be aware. There's a financial side, there's the legal side, there's that relationship, Denise, that you manage with the facility.
Right.
So everyone's available there at Elder Advisors. And it's probably best, and Denise, you can articulate this better than I can, or answer this better than I can, to be proactive, to know exactly what you're facing instead of waiting, right?
Oh, definitely. We always say it's never too late to reach out to us. Don't ever think it's too late with your situation, but it's going to work out much more in your advantage the sooner you start planning, for sure.
At these workshops, Steve, do you talk about any strategies, like with your home, with your assets? How can you maneuver those to really make those, I guess, make sure they last?
Right. Absolutely, yeah. We do so much. We talk about pre-planning, and everybody should have an opportunity to get out there, and they need to pre-plan because, like it or not, none of us are getting younger, and we're all going to hit that point. So there's the pre-planning aspect. How do we protect our house? How do we protect our money? But then there's also the crisis planning aspect. You know what? Mom, dad, husband, wife, they're already in a facility. Now what do we do? It's never too late. I've never had a case where I've told a family, it's too late for help. There's always time to do something.
Good. So to me, that's reassuring, because you wonder a little bit like, am I one of those cases where they go, can't touch you, never too late. Denise, tell us a little bit about your background. I think this is interesting because we go, how does she become an expert? You've seen people get hurt in the process.
Oh, I worked for almost a decade as a supervisor in the long-term care Medicaid department, and I saw people day to day that needed help for their loved one who was a patient at a nursing home or a long-term care facility, and they needed some help. They felt like, hey, I never have asked for any type of benefits before. I've worked really hard my whole life. I'm entitled to this. And I would have to tell people 9 out of 10 times, you have to spend everything your loved one has worked very hard for. And once they basically are on poverty level, then I can help them. So I was called every name in the book, as you can imagine. You know, I was not anyone's favorite person. But now I could never, well, back up, before I could never give them any helpful hints. They would ask me, what could I do? Who could I reach out to? And you are not allowed to give any kind of information, any kind of help. All I could say is you could look at Google, you could look at the yellow pages. Anybody can tell them that. But now I'm able to tell them, you know, helpful hints, ways to help protect their assets that I could, in rules that have been out there for a really long time that people just aren't aware of. I'm able to advise them of all that, give them that knowledge, and help them so that they don't have to lose everything.
I love that. So now it's a lot more rewarding now.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And Steve, what are some of the most common questions that you hear from folks that hopefully, if let's say they've been smart enough and they're trying to get in front of it, the legal side, first of all, it changes, the laws change, and then there's probably some basics that we're not even aware of. What kind of questions do you hear?
Sure. I mean, for instance, the VA Aid and Attendance Program, massive changes this month. They've been talking about it for years, and then out of the blue, about 2 weeks ago, it comes down that you're going to have these massive changes in the program. So that's one thing that's important to, you know, if you understand what the VA Aid and Attendance Program was before, you need to come in again because it's just changed. Other folks come in and, you know, the big question that we get is, well, I've read and I've heard and I've seen we can't save our house. There's nothing we can do. Well, that's just not true. There are a lot of things that can be done to save the house. And that's for most folks, that's their largest asset. That's the, you know, that's really what they want to be able to pass on to their kids. There are ways to do that. Pre-planning is usually important, but sometimes even in crisis plans, we can still save that house.
Wow. So yeah, this to me is not only good information, but vital information, because isn't that the goal, is to be able to retain as many assets as you can?
Absolutely.
And everyone, I think it's interesting, Denise, that everyone has skin in the game, and you guys are aware of that, like the facility, the insurance, family members have skin in the game. So your job is to do what's ever best for the family, correct?
Oh, yes. I'm looking out for their best interest, always. I want to keep them from that hemorrhaging of their pocketbook, you know, losing everything. And often the family has to start chipping in. Everybody's having to dip into their savings, into their checking to try to, you know, corral this money together to pay for mom or dad's care. And that's not necessary. That does not need to happen. There's other ways, and we can help with that.
Larry Weiss always brags on you, Steve, when he comes there. He says that you're vital. But you know, and we talk and we have fun with Larry, and Larry's very energetic,
animated,
very passionate, very animated. He's a funny guy, but I want you to tell us about his role, because I do know that he's passionate about what he does and he genuinely cares about people.
Oh, absolutely does. He wants the absolute best for his clients because, look, frankly, the way we get business is word of mouth. You know, neighbor talks to neighbor. And they tell them, Elder Advisors did a great job for us. Steve Langdon at McNeely-Stephenson, he did a great job for us. That's how we get our business. And again, we're just so blessed. We get to help these folks save what they've earned over a lifetime, get them the help they need, the benefits they need. As an attorney, getting a hug from you know, mom or dad or grandma and grandpa, or having them bring in some cookies for us, it doesn't get any better.
There you go. You know what? But as I said, you know, as you said, actually, you know, in the legal business, it's not often that people are saying, "Hey, you're important. Thank you so much for what you do."
Right.
In this case, you are. Because
Absolutely.
I think that's what we all fear. I think it's like, okay, we all know you're smart, you're intelligent, you know what you do. With that being said, this is a little more complex, and there's a lot of moving parts here. Denise, for those who are watching now, say, I need some help. First step, is there a consultation? Who do you recommend is present? How does it work?
Oh, you give us a call anytime. We monitor our calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So give us a call, and it's always a free consultation. Come to our workshop this Monday or Tuesday, but if you're not able to make it to the workshop, give us a call. I mean, we will work around your schedule. We don't just work, 8 to 5. The doors don't shut. We work around people's schedule. Just give us a call, free consultation. We'll do whatever we can to help.
And let's put the information up once again for the workshop. So, Steve, I'm assuming at these workshops, Q&A, you all do a presentation and then you come up and you answer questions?
Nobody wants to see me talk for an hour straight or a half an hour straight. So lots of questions, lots of bouncing off of each other. We do one over in Louisville on, I believe it's the 15th. We do one in Indiana on the 16th. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you can't make Louisville, come over to Indiana. If you can't make Indiana, come over to Louisville. We're there for you. And if you can't make either one, call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Education is power, ladies and gentlemen. Again, elder advisors, don't go broke in a nursing home. We're going to take a quick break and we shall return. It's Feel Good Friday on Wave 3 Listens Live.